All right, welcome to this week's FinX segment where I go over the most popular names, the buzzing names, over Financial X slash FinTwit to see if we can really utilize anything to prepare for next week, see if it's just noise or actually actionable. So number one, this should not be a surprise, Micron. Micron blew earnings out of the water. This has been an extremely strong name. If you go from we can go from the low of this breakout or of this this consolidation area to the highs here. Made a 303% move within a 59-day trading day. So it's moved a lot, right? Which is pretty wild. Everyone's been calling for a top. They're calling for a top here. They're calling for a top here, and all of a sudden it's way up here. So in all reality, this is still making higher highs and higher lows. You can see this higher low, higher low, higher low. We'll see if we get a higher low relative to this Wednesday, June 24th low. The 5-day is up, the 8-day is up, the 21-day is up, the 50 is up, the 200 is up. You cannot, I would recommend not timing this, trying not to time this. You cannot short names like this just because it is up too much. That doesn't make sense. The market can stay irrational much longer than you can stay solvent. So always manage your risk. Don't go blindly shorting. Memory is indeed a very strong bottleneck. Now, everyone knows that. So how many more people can actually cram into this trade? Who knows? It's the obvious trade at this point. It's been the obvious trade, but it continues to go. So it's a hard one. What really matters is if this low here on the 24th of Wednesday the 24th, if that holds or not. Otherwise, maybe it starts to consolidate and starts to rest for a potential continuation, or maybe it breaks down, but that's going to take a little bit. That's going to take some time. So yes, it's volatile. Yes, we can get 10, 15% down moves in one day. But calling for a complete crash, I don't know about that. We shall see. Anything can happen. All right, moving on. NVIDIA is a sleeper. This is now back in this consolidation range. It failed to hold the breakout. It's coming close to 200 EMA at this 188.89 area. It does also have a pivot on gap of 188.77 to 187.70, which is with the confluence of the 200 EMA and about being 50% of this range. It's interesting in this area, but overall it's under the 50. The 8 and 21 are downtrending. I think there are better places to be. RKLB unfortunately did not hold the breakout area. It gapped up some, 5-ish% or something like that in the after hours. I don't quite remember what it opened up in the morning. Either way, it's up on 4.77% on the day, a little increase in volume. This pivot on gap, this is why I always keep these on the charts, especially when they're unfilled. 81.36 to 79.51, that held. Ideally, it's close to the 200 EMA. Ideally, it continues maybe to base here. We get a nice bounce and a little base for a higher low. We continue on higher, but it doesn't look good. The 50 is now going down. The 8 and the 21 are going down. The 200 is flattening. So just be mindful of that. ASTS, I think, is a little more interesting than RKLB. Why? Specifically because it's coming into a prior support area of this 65-ish dollar, 65 to 63, that range right there. However, note it is under the 200. It is under the 8 and 21, underneath the 5, underneath the 50. So this would be a support play, maybe a bounce play, something in and out pretty quick. Or if you're long-term, maybe this would be a decent area to risk against for long-term if you're not, worried about your money sitting and not working for you, because really it's just in a huge range from 60, it's a 100% range, from, let's just say 62 to like 130. It's not doing anything, right? It's not doing anything. Palantir, this bearish look here, reverse cup and handle. It finally broke this 120, 124 to 122 level. I've been saying this for a while. This is not out of the cards, especially after another failed breakout of this 150 area. And now it's melting. My target was 105. It basically got there. Or what was the low there? 106.37. It was simply this low right here. Now what I'm looking for, I'm actually looking for there's a few scenarios here. We can get a bounce. I'm looking specifically to this pivot on gap of this pretty big down move day of 7%. So my target range here is 124.04 to 121.01. Now I will be looking to initiate potential shorts here. Why? Number one, the 21 will be down. If we get a bounce over at like Monday, Tuesday, the 21 will catch up at that point. And we have the pivot on gap, and we have a potential supply area here. So it's just basically a breakdown and a retest and looking for continuation on lower. Ultimate target would be 96 to 92 area. And, maybe then 75 or even, 65. If it can get rolling to the downside. We'll see what actually happens. But really, I'm looking for a breakdown, a retest to initiate a short around this 124 to 121 area, and then continuation to the downside. Other option is that it comes back to this 122, 124 area, fails to move lower, sets a higher low. We can set an anchor VWAP at this low here, see if it holds an anchor VWAP, and if it accepts back in this range, that's ideal, because then it'll most likely tag the opposite end range. That's the thought, that's the idea, but we have to wait until that actually happens. HIMS, what's another? This has been a popular one. Got a ascending triangle here, and it broke this rather important $33 level. Looks like it came back, undercut the 8, tagged the 21, tagged the 200, and now it's moving higher. I think it needs to break this $36, and then next we have about $40. If it can break the $40, next would be, 57-ish. So this actually looks like it's shaping up pretty good. It's above all the EMAs, and you just got to be mindful of prior supply areas. So manage your risk, all that good stuff per usual. Frog was another one. Look at this. That might be the highest volume ever. It might be a HVE. Yeah, I think it's the highest volume ever week. So that's a nice sign. What you can do is at the beginning of the week, so huge volume note on Friday, right? We can set an anchor VWAP at Friday. And I would look for an entry in this, honestly. A little momentum play. So ideally what would happen is this is a 3-day pivot. This is the daily pivot from Friday specifically. Any pullback within this 85 to 82-ish dollar area, I think would be a decent buy. We'll see where we open up. If we gap up, we would watch for a pullback to Friday's anchor VWAP as a 2nd-day continuation, and then wait for Monday's price to get over Monday's VWAP, and then you can set your stop loss based off of the Friday's anchor VWAP or off of the low of Monday, etc., or whatever else you like to, however you want to manage your risk. But Frog looks like a solid continuation. TEM, this has been very popular as well. I think this is shaping up. Downtrend has been broken. Now it's consolidating. It's hitting the 200 EMA. It's declining, but it's starting to flatten out, which is nice. It's reclaimed the 5, 8, 21, and the 50, which is also nice. So it looks like it wants to start to turn around here. I would just like for it, I'm going to delete this, that's sloppy. I would like for it to clear that 200 EMA, break, come back and retest, and then it can potentially break that, come back, retest it, and then we can, start trending upwards and, stuff like that. But TEM, I would keep that on your radar. AAOI, optics, they're not getting as much love as what they once were. This is breaking an important $150 area. The next area that I was watching was 136. It also broke that. It is now below a declining 8 white line, a declining 5, and a declining 21, and a declining 50, all EMAs. I would not be shocked if we got down to the $100 level, which is another 27% move to the downside. Don't be shocked if that happens. It could fail here and then accept back above. Just kind of depends on what price wants to do here. So I would personally be looking for a short here, really. Maybe chop around, let the 5 catch up, let the 8 catch up, and then set a stop loss off of a short stop loss off of the tag of those. IREN. It is now, this was one of my, I liked this look into last week, and it completely just fell out of bed. I liked the tightness, the higher lows and higher highs it was setting, and then it, created a lower low now. So I'd watch, it's at the 200 EMA. I would watch for a bounce. But what happens at that bounce is going to be pretty important. So ideally it reverses and reverses pretty strong rather quickly. What I would like to see is if it bounces off this 200 EMA, it comes higher and then sets a higher low, right? I don't want it to create a lower high relative to here and then come back down and create a lower low. If it happens, I'm going to exit my longer term swing. I am in this right now. Ideally, I would like it to bounce, come back down, set a higher low, and then make a higher high relative to this one, or maybe ideally even this one, right? So hopefully this 200 EMA holds. It's still within the range. It's still not doing anything. Otherwise, we might be headed back down to this $36 to $34 area. And Oscar, I got a request from a viewer to go over Oscar. Honestly, look at this thing. If you go out to the monthly, look at this consolidation it just broke out of. This is actually a pretty solid name in my opinion. You can go from highs here, right there, top of the range, right, to the lows here, bottom of the range. I mean, you can even adjust it to there if you really wanted to. Either way, nice range, and it just broke out of this month in June. If we look at the weekly, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks strong. Then we get 1, 2 weeks of rest. Nice little undercut of 3 weeks on the beginning of June. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks strong straight. It's a little challenging to trade this because it's made such a strong move. However, healthcare, XLV, that's where money is flowing into right now. And actually on the daily, it's holding the 5, that's the 5 EMA that's trending upwards. 8 EMA is up, 21 EMA is up, 50 EMA is up, 200 EMA is up. This is indeed a place to be. This is indeed a name to focus on and to create trade plans. So let's go ahead and do that actually. What's an important level? You can see where all these topping tails are right there. There's a little zone for you, right? It's breaking out of that. Where's the volume? We had a nice volume pump. If you pay, volume can be skewed. It can be quote unquote manipulated, things like that. So I don't typically use volume as an entry criteria, but I know a lot of people do, and they look at it. So I just have it on the charts really when I make these videos. So 8, 5 EMA, 8 EMA, 21 EMA. What I would do, it's above the 3-day pivot. It closed above the daily pivot, which is bullish for continuation into the next day as well. Honestly, I would, if you set an anchor VWAP from this high, it's above that, right? It held it. So the average participant from this high is above water. It's a nice consolidation. Heck, anywhere within this range, just 29 area, 28, the lower that it goes, this might actually be viable within Monday's range if it dips down into it. I would look for a tag of the 3-day pivot with how I trade 29.23 to 29.60 area. That would be interesting. I'm actually going to set and even into the daily pivot of 29.66 to 29.37. So there's a lot of confluence right here, and that would be with the 5 EMA. And then maybe you can risk the low of Friday, or if it dips down and undercuts Friday's lows but cannot undercut Thursday's lows, maybe you buy it somewhere within here and risk Thursday's lows. If it dips even lower, I think this right here, this low of 27.16 might be a good area to risk against as well. It would be a swing low. If it can get down there somewhere around there. It doesn't really, I don't know. It doesn't really look like it's going to though. But that's my thoughts on Oscar. It's a place to be. Create your own plans and how to trade this thing. Let's go over the history real quick of FinX segments. Oracle is getting crushed, maybe, from the high here to the dead lows, down 41% in 18 trading days. We'll probably, it filled this pivot on gap, it didn't hold. We're probably heading to 135. We'll see if we get a bounce at 135 because it's pretty oversold to the short term, but we'll see if it even holds in the first place. SPCE, this was a mistake because of SpaceX. I'm going to take it off now, actually. Maybe we get a little rally in here, but this is basically because a mistake play off of SPCX. I'm deleting it now. Hood, I'm in Hood. I like Hood. Consolidation looks like it has now made a higher high. Ideally, this is the higher low. I entered on Friday. I entered right here where the circle is. It was holding an anchor VWAP. And so I basically risked, and it crossed Thursday's daily pivot. So I was risking basically this range here. That is my, let's just show you my trade. I think it'll pop up. Is it here? Oh, it's not loading. It's on my phone. Anyways, but I like it. SoFi is another one. SoFi, I don't know how you say it. The only thing is you might have some time opportunity loss in this. It's still consolidating. The 200 is still going down. It's reclaimed the 5, 8, 21, 50, etc. It's over the anchor VWAP from this earnings gap down. It has a bid. It's holding. It's consolidating. It's nice. It's got the 200 above. It's got the prior $20 supply area above. It's got the anchor VWAP from the all-time high above. It's 45% off all-time highs. So this is it's an interesting name. But time opportunity, time cost might be something you want to pay attention to. SMCI, I don't know why this continues to be popular. I don't know. This thing is just sloppy. Just no. Important level here, I guess, is $28 or so. We'll see if that holds. It's back below the 50 again, below the 200, below the 8, below the 5, below the 21. You're catching a fallen knife here, in my opinion. It's not below the anchor VWAP from this low. So I'm not a super fan. SoUN AI. This is continuing to consolidate below declining 200, declining 8, 50, 21, and a 5. This is not something you long safely. ARM's been a strong name, popular name. Failed to hold this break. It made a higher high. Ideally, it makes a higher low here. But really, it's kind of sloppy. It's a sloppy, choppy mess right now. It's below the 8, it's below the 21, below the 5. I wouldn't be shocked if we tag this 50, this 299 area. I would not be surprised. If it does tag that, maybe it's a decent area to risk against for a quick little bounce. Otherwise, it's a little too sloppy. App, this has gotten crushes back into the consolidation area. It undercut this prior support area and then reclaimed it. Maybe, so probably like if this pulled back at all, this would be a decent area to risk against. But this move, look at the volume. I don't like it. I am seeing a lot of commercials actually for App Lovin'. So that's beneficial. That's positive, I suppose. We'll see if it can get back out of this zone. It's really important to hold this 518, 520 area. Once it starts doing that, maybe it'll be a little bit more favorable. But really, right now, it's just a sloppy, choppy mess. All right, those are the names that were popular on FinX. Hopefully, this stuff is helpful. Like, subscribe, comment below if there's other names that you guys want me to go through in the upcoming weeks to create your trading plans, give you my thoughts and ideas. Otherwise, thanks for your time, and we'll catch you next week. Go watch my weekly prep video, as well as I'm also coming out with a trade review video this weekend as well. All right, later.